Hi everybody, my name is Ariana. Today I want to discuss a topic that is not just relevant but urgent. My presentation will be about human rights in contemporary times. Human rights are the fundamental freedoms and protections that every individual deserves, regardless of where they live, who they are, what they believe in. They ensure that all human beings are treated with dignity, respect, and fairness. Unfortunately, despite international efforts, human rights violations continue to affect millions of people worldwide. This presentation will explore the concept of human rights, common violations, and ways we can all contribute to upholding these rights. First, let's define human rights. Human rights are those basic rights and freedoms that belong to everybody, no matter who you are, what your beliefs are, or where you live. The concept gained global recognition with the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which was adopted by the United Nations in 1948. This declaration set the groundwork for international law, affirming the rights of every individual to live free from oppression. The two categories of human rights I would like to discuss today are civil and political rights and economic, social, and cultural rights. These rights include freedom of speech, the right to vote, and the right to a fair trial. They ensure individuals can participate freely in political and social life. For example, the right to freedom of expression allows people to speak their minds, even if their opinions are controversial. The second one, economic, social, and cultural rights. These rights include the right to education, the right to health, and the right to work. They ensure people can meet their basic needs and live dignified lives. For example, the right to education empowers most people to break the cycle of poverty and achieve their full potential in life. Principal human rights violations. Unfortunately, human rights violations are widespread across the globe, and many individuals face daily injustices. Some of the most common violations include discrimination, inequality, and child labor and human trafficking. Whether based on race, gender, or sexual orientation, discrimination continues to deny people their basic rights. For example, women in many countries still fight for equal pay and protection from violence, and LGBTQ individuals face persecution in many parts of the world because they are not accepted. Child labor and human trafficking. According to the International Labor Organization, over 150 million children worldwide are engaged in child labor. Many of these children are denied an education and subjected to dangerous and exploitative work environments. Along with this, human trafficking remains a significant and crucial issue, with millions and millions of people being trafficked for forced labor or sexual exploitation. This has to stop. Additionally, refugee crisis and displacement. The refugee crisis is one of the most pressing human rights challenges of our time. Armed conflicts, persecution, and natural disasters force millions to flee from their homes. That is a very significant number, and they often face inhuman conditions in refugee camps. The Syrian civil war, for example, has displaced millions, and many refugees struggle to find safety and dignity. Upholding human rights. So what can we do to uphold human rights in today's world? Well, legislation and policy. The government plays an essential role in protecting human rights. Laws and policies, both at national and international levels, are designed to safeguard the rights of individuals. International treaties like the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights are instrumental in holding governments accountable for their actions. However, for these laws to be effective, they must be implemented and enforced. Activism and social movements. Social movements have often been the driving force behind human rights progress. For example, movements like Me Too and Black Lives Matter have brought critical issues like sexual harassment and racial inequality into the spotlight. These movements empower individuals to speak out and demand change, whether it's advocating for gender equality, fighting for racial justice, or standing up for refugees. Activism is essential for holding society accountable and demanding better treatment for everybody. Calling action. So, as we've seen in this presentation, human rights are not only essential for individual freedom and dignity, but also for building a fair society. However, human rights are constantly under a threat. We all have a responsibility to act. So what can we do as a society? We can be informed, which means we have to understand the human rights issues happening around the world. We have to educate ourselves and others about the challenges people face and try to ensure a way to help it. We can support organizations. Many nonprofits work tirelessly to protect human rights. Organizations like Amnesty International and the Human Rights Watch are doing great work and they need our support. We need to take action, whether through signing petitions, donating, or participating in peaceful protests. Your voice matters. In the words of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. We have to all stand together for human rights, for justice, and for the dignity of every individual. We can make a difference together for everybody's voice to be heard, and for everybody in this world to have peace within themselves and people around them. Thank you.